Ancient scrolls that were buried in volcanic ash during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius are now being deciphered 2,000 years later, thanks in part to artificial intelligence. For centuries, these fractured remnants from bygone civilizations have whispered through time. Now, a new era of next-level technology, with the help of AI, is bringing them into the light. AI is revealing hidden words in dusty tomes, resurrecting faint inscriptions, and breathing life into silent scripts. There's evidence of movements of the hand, sometimes with damage to the nails and the fingertips. But are we unlocking vital wisdom or awakening something far more unsettling? The Indus Valley script, one of the biggest mysteries of the ancient world, comes from the highly advanced civilization that once thrived in the Indus Valley. Located in what is now Pakistan and northwest India, these people built impressive, well-planned cities such as Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa over 4,000 years ago. They had organized street grids, sophisticated drainage systems, and evidence of extensive trade with neighboring regions. But there's one critical aspect we still don't fully understand: their script. Countless small seals, pottery shards, and baked clay tablets show a series of symbols that seem to represent words or ideas. Often, the inscriptions are short, just a handful of characters. Scholars have spent decades trying to crack this code, debating whether it represents a full-fledged written language, a kind of protoscript for record-keeping, or a combination of both. Without a Rosetta Stone equivalent, traditional approaches have hit a wall. Thankfully, researchers have recently applied computational methods to identify repeating patterns within the script. This has revealed a certain level of structure, hinting at rules for how the symbols combine. While still far from fully deciphered, these small breakthroughs suggest the Indus people used a consistent system, possibly to track goods, record religious practices, or formalize social contracts. The Nazca lines, stretched across the dusty plains of southern Peru, are monumental drawings carved directly into the desert floor. From ground level, they may look like endless shallow trenches, but seen from above, they reveal intricate outlines of animals, plants, and geometric shapes. Created between roughly 500 BC and 500 AD, these geoglyphs have intrigued explorers, archaeologists, and tourists for generations. One of the most striking things about the Nazca lines is just how many there are. Hundreds of massive shapes, some stretching across great distances, include iconic figures like the hummingbird, the spider, and the monkey. While the precise reasons behind their creation are still hotly debated, many experts propose that these immense designs had religious or ceremonial significance. They might have been used in rituals aimed at appealing to deities for rain or abundant harvests, as water was precious in the arid Nazca region. Until relatively recently, our knowledge of the lines relied chiefly on aerial surveys and traditional fieldwork. These days, short mentions of technology come in the form of drones and high-resolution imaging, which help reveal previously unknown shapes or faint lines. The more we discover, the more we appreciate how such a large-scale project was accomplished by an ancient community without modern surveying tools. Traces of offerings near some lines suggest a strong ritualistic element, giving us a glimpse into the spiritual life of the Nazca people. High in the Peruvian and Argentinian Andes, researchers have made several discoveries of Inca mummies that were left on mountain peaks as part of sacred rituals. One of the most famous is the Ice Maiden, a young girl whose body was found in remarkable condition. Thanks to the sub-zero temperatures, her frozen state preserved her hair, clothing, and even many details of her internal organs. The story behind these mummies is linked to an Inca practice called capacocha, a ceremony often performed during important events or as an appeal to the gods. Children, considered physically perfect and pure, were chosen for these sacrifices, and the rituals typically took place atop steep, inhospitable peaks. Offerings of figurines, textiles, and other valuable items accompanied them. While it can be unsettling to think about, these sacrifices played a serious role in Inca religious beliefs, possibly ensuring the well-being of the empire or the fertility of the land. Through minimal high-tech methods like careful imaging and light scanning inside labs, scientists can study these artifacts and remains without causing damage. The girl's final meal, revealed through analysis of stomach contents, provided a glimpse into what high-status individuals in the Inca Empire might eat. Her elaborate clothing and headgear point to the significance of her role. These frozen altars on the mountaintops serve as poignant memorials to a culture that believed life and death were deeply intertwined with the forces of nature and the divine. In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted and infamously buried the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum under tons of volcanic ash. While Pompeii is often in the spotlight, Herculaneum contained a unique treasure, the Villa of the Papyri, home to hundreds of delicate scrolls. Unlike typical papyrus documents, these were partially burned and carbonized by the intense heat. For centuries, scholars dreamed of reading them but dared not unroll them for fear they would crumble. These texts might hold invaluable insights into Roman literature and philosophy, potentially works lost to history. Many early attempts to open the scrolls ended in heartbreak, fragile fragments disintegrated or turned to dust. Only in recent decades have researchers refined non-invasive techniques that can peek inside. A brief mention of technology, advanced X-ray scanning combined with data analysis helps reveal faint traces of ink. So far, the small portions that have been read discuss philosophical concepts, including topics like pleasure, happiness, and scarcity. Some historians suggest they might be connected to the Epicurean philosopher Philodemus or possibly other authors from around the same period. Each new fragment decoded feels like a conversation from 2,000 years ago. This direct link to ancient thinkers is a thrilling reminder that the world's knowledge can literally lie hidden in the ashes, waiting to be revived when we finally have the right tools and approach. In 1991, two hikers in the Ötztal Alps, on the border between Austria and Italy, made a discovery that would rewrite history books. They stumbled upon the frozen remains of a man who died over 5,000 years ago. Nicknamed, this Iceman was so well preserved that his skin, clothing, and even internal organs offered a direct look into Copper Age life unlike anything else. Ötz's attire included a cloak, leggings, and shoes stuffed with grass for insulation. His toolkit contained a copper axe, a flint knife, and an unfinished bow. His possessions tell the story of a person skilled in survival tactics, comfortable with both agriculture and hunting. Intriguingly, evidence suggests a violent end. He had an arrowhead lodged in his shoulder and a serious cut on one hand, leading researchers to theorize he was attacked and fled to the mountains, possibly succumbing to cold or blood loss. A brief bit of scientific support, including minimal scans of his organs, revealed details about his last meal, ibex meat and grains, and certain health conditions like lactose intolerance. His many tattoos, placed near joints suffering from stress or ailment, hint at a form of prehistoric therapy or ritual marking. Ötz's tale resonates deeply because it links us to a single individual from a world that predates the pyramids, reminding us how ancient human stories can survive right beneath our feet, or in this case, in glacial ice. When we think of Pompeii, we often imagine plaster casts of its inhabitants and fresco-covered villas. But one of the more light-hearted findings is that the city had a robust culture of fast food establishments known as ancient Romans loved these little shops, which featured colorful counters with earthenware set into them, offering hot meals to go. Much of the population lived in cramped homes without full kitchens, so grabbing a bite was convenient.